welcome back. It's Charlotte from At Charlotte's House. Today, I am using some drop cloth to make some really fun graphic placemats. Stay tuned. I love working with painter's drop cloth because it is a pretty sturdy canvas. I love that neutral color, and I love the price. You can usually find a drop cloth that's about 9 feet long for maybe $10, and that can last you many projects. So I have already cut my drop cloth to about the size of some of my other placemats. Don't worry about the edges, we're gonna take care of that later. To start, all you need is a craft brush. I prefer ones that are a little bit firmer and a little bit smaller. Doesn't matter, it just depends on what you like working with. And then I am using some craft paint. I have a couple of this DecoArt Americana multi-surface satin. I'll put a link in the video description. I also have some actual fabric paint. Both of these should work fine for what we're doing, so I'm just choosing the colors that I like. And then I've been loving these mudcloth patterns, so I'm just gonna do a little bit of that. I'm pretty lazy, so I usually just squeeze the paint into the lid. And then I'm just gonna go across my placemat and I'm gonna make patterns. I've looked at some mudcloth, so I know that the patterns, there's nothing too fancy. I don't even measure. I don't even mark my lines. I'm just eyeballing it. There's no reason that you couldn't use a fabric pen or something that will rinse off if you give it a little squirt of water, just to outline your stripes if you want. Here's a placemat that I've already finished and I've let the paint dry. And I have just a ratty drop cloth underneath it to protect my table. And then I'm using an iron, and what I'm gonna do is I'm simply gonna fold over my edges just a little bit. And then I'm gonna iron them to give them a crease. And again, you're welcome to measure and be precise about it. I'm just eyeballing it. Once you have your edges folded over, you can do a couple of different things. You can either sew it, or you could use fabric glue, or you could use a hot glue gun. Now that my edges are all ironed and folded, I'm just gonna run them right through the sewing machine. I am not a great sewer, but I usually can figure this out. Notice when I get to the corners that I'm just picking up my needle and I'm twisting my placemat, what is that, 45 degrees, 90 degrees? And then I'm just gonna keep going. I'm gonna finish all the other placemats, and then I'm gonna show you how we are going to seal them. Here are some of the placemats finished. They're all hemmed. I think they look amazing, and there's no reason that you can't be finished right now. I will say that I like to put a little bit of a clear coat on them just to protect them a little bit from the food that no doubt will be spilled all over them. So I'm gonna use my favorite polyacrylic. This is really easy to work with. It dries really fast. I love using it with fabric. You always wanna give it a stir just to make sure it's totally mixed. I'm just gonna paint over them until it's pretty saturated, and then I'll flip it over and do the same thing to the underside, and that will help seal those raw edges.